Hey everyone, my name's Jessie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing the Choose Your Own Adventure Fantasy Characters tag, and I'm so excited to finally be doing this tag that was originally created by the magnificent Joanna and a couple of other booktubers, including Abby, Gregory, Kate, Pete, and Lyra. All of their channels will be linked down below. Please go check them out. They have all done this tag video, as well as a lot of other booktubers that I believe are in a playlist. So I'll also link that playlist down below if you want to see some other folks' answers. So I'm just gonna get right into it and start us off with the first prompt, which is fantasy twin, or which character do you feel that you relate to the most? This is quite hard for me. I don't ever feel like I'm really relating on a personal level to a main character, but I think that the closest main character from a fantasy book that I've found that I personally relate to is Blue from the Raven Cycle series. I found that I related to Blue because she was extremely close with her family. It almost seemed like her family was more of her best friends, and she had a really close relationship with her mother. So I really identified with that part of her character, as well as just the part of not having a humongous group of friends, but instead a few really close friends. I've always felt like that, where I'd rather have a much smaller group of friends that is extremely close, rather than having a lot of more of like acquaintances, if that makes sense. And then her personality I related a lot to as well. She's much more of a listener rather than a talker. She's much more introverted. So I just found that I related to a lot of Blue's character traits and her relationships that she had throughout this series. I loved Blue. I love this whole series. So it's definitely goes down as one of my favorite young adult fantasy series of all time, for sure. The next question is hero. What is a character you aspire to? This one, I could have said multiple different characters for this one, but I'm going to choose Vasya from the Winter Night trilogy, starting with The Bear and the Nightingale. Vasya is a character that I absolutely loved. And the first book, she starts off in a pretty rough spot. She is deemed a witch in this Russian-inspired fantasy world because she has the ability to see these demons and interact with these demons that no one else can. But as the series goes on, she becomes so powerful and so independent. She doesn't care what anyone thinks of her. She is always 100% true to herself, no matter what. She fights for what she believes in, no matter what. I loved that about her, and she just didn't take crap from anybody. I loved it. I loved it so much, and she cared so much about her family, and she did everything she could throughout this series to protect her family and those that she cared about. I just adored her so much. I aspire to be as strong and unrelenting as Vasya, and to truly not care what anyone else thinks, as long as you are true to yourself and doing the right thing. I love it. I love it so much. The next question is champion. Who would you pick to represent you in a duel? And for this one, I had to go with Macwin from The Faithful and the Fallen, or Makeen. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it, but I'm holding up Valor because if you've read the series, you know why. This character is so kick-ass. He will not stop. He will not stop. No matter what, he will keep fighting until the very end. If you are someone he has committed his loyalty to, he will go to the ends of the earth to prove and earn that loyalty. It's just incredible what he has to go through in this series and how he continues to just fight no matter what. Oh my God, I love him so much. Definitely Macwin for this answer. The next prompt is unlikable character. Who is a character that you love to hate? This one one for me. I love a character who is a good, like, love to hate type character. So I could have had a lot of answers for this one. I narrowed it down and I just chose Giselle from the First Law trilogy by Joe Abercrombie because especially the third book, Giselle, he doesn't seem like he's the worst in the first book, but he's just the worst, and I love him. I love Giselle. I feel like Glokta gets all the love in this series for good reason. Glokta is definitely my favorite, but Giselle, there is something about that character that he's just such an idiot, and he's so dumb, and you just like want to shake him the whole series. He's just the worst. He's a brat, he's whiny, he's just put in these positions that he should not be in, and he's I love him. I love Giselle so much. I just don't hear enough love for Giselle, and I think it's because it's not like a pure love, like it's a love to hate kind of thing. Like Giselle is truly, he sucks. He sucks as a human being. If this was a person in real life, I would hate them, but I love him in this story. He just fits so perfectly in this world. So especially the third book. If you've read it, you know what I mean. The next prompt is Tavern Buddy, who is a character that you'd want to have some drinks out on the town with. And for this one, I have to go with Dandelion from the Witcher series by Andrzej Sapkowski. I mean, who better to go out drinking with than Dandelion, who can sing Toss the Coin to Your Witcher to you all night and play his little lute. I love Dandelion. I love his relationship with Geralt. It's one of my favorite parts of the entire series so far is the friendship between Geralt and Dandelion. Dandelion just sounds like he'd just be a hoot to be around, like just continue to make me laugh. His stories are so over the top and fantastic, and it would just be so entertaining. He's a man of multiple talents, and I would just be able to sit back and have my drink and just be entertained all night. Sounds fantastic. The next prompt is Villain, who is a character that you would not want to cross paths with. And for this one, I had to go with who I think is the most terrifying villain I have ever read, and that is Captain Randall in the Outlander series, especially the first book. So, Blackjack Randall in this book is not just like, he's not just one of those love to hate villains. He is terrifying and unpredictable every time he is on the page. You never know what his limits are, and it seems like he truly doesn't even have limits, and so you just never know what's going to happen, and you never know if your characters are going to be safe when they are on the page with this character. I love a character that is unpredictable, but truly I was on the edge of my seat every time he arrived because I did not know what was going to happen, how bad it was going to be. Sometimes it was the worst possible thing you could imagine that he was doing. Like he's disgusting. Like the worst. I don't know if I've conveyed that enough. He's the worst. So if you want like the most terrifying villain who truly has no limits, look no further than Captain Randall in Outlander. The next prompt is Mentor, who is a character that you would love to learn from. For this one, I have to go with Abbess Glass from the Book of the Ancestor trilogy by Mark Lawrence. Abbess Glass, especially in the second book, is one of my favorite characters. I love a good character that always feels like they're a step ahead. She's always a step ahead. She's brilliant. She's sneaky. She has a plan for what seems like everything. And if she doesn't, then you know shit's about to go down because, oh my God, like if Abbess Glass doesn't know what to do, then no one knows what to do. I love her. I love her, and her relationship with the main character, Nona, was so much fun to explore. Abbess Glass I would love to learn and just be exposed to Abba's class for like a week. I think I would be a little bit terrified, but I feel like I would learn so much and would just hope that some of her cunning would rub off on me. Next prompt is Samwise. Which character would be your best friend, or which character would you trust the most? And for this one, I have to go with Clef from Foundry Side by Robert Jackson Bennett. If you've read this book, you know who Clef is. Clef is fantastic. Clef is not only hilarious and would keep me so entertained all the time when we were together, but he's so loyal and he cares so much about his friends, and I just love him. Every time he was in a scene, he stole the scene. He was the star of the show in this book. Clef is the best. I just want to be best friends with Clef. Everyone needs a Clef in their life. I feel like we'd all be so much happier if we all had a Clef. And then the last prompt is Found Family. Which character would you adopt or give a home to? This one, I have to say Sydney from Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Sydney is a character who is a younger girl who has a near-death experience that makes her have this power where she can resurrect people, and it's not an easy power for her to have, and she goes through a lot in this book. She has a lot of issues with her sister and her family life. She's kind of found the main character Victor in this book, and it's kind of her found family, but Victor is not the best father figure, so I would just love to take Sydney and just give her a hug and bring her home with me, because I feel like Victor's probably not the best place for her to be, and I just want the best for her because she's just the sweetest character with the purest of hearts that I just loved so much in this book. And that is it. That was so much fun to do. I am going to put all the prompts down below in the description box in case you want to do this tag yourself. I think that this tag has been done by what feels like everyone at this point, so I'm gonna tag 3 people, but if you've already done it, let me know so that I can watch your video. So for this tag, I will tag Booked and Busy. I feel like you would have fantastic answers for this tag. I'm also gonna tag Elle. I don't think you've done this video yet, Elle, and I would love to see your answers for this. And then I'll also tag Michael Nip. Michael, have you done this tag yet? If you have, I would love to see your answers for this, so let me know. So those are the 3 people I'll tag, but if you are a booktuber and have not done this tag, consider yourself tagged. I would love to see this tag make the rounds through the community because I think it is so much fun to do. So thank you again to all of the creators of this tag who are, again, linked down below, and you should totally go check out. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!